What's going on? What's going on? I done came back again. I got some more Diddy news. You know, he got a new accuser. I'm gonna read the article to you. Let me play this clip, but I'm gonna read this article. Thalia Graves alleged being drugged and raped by Sean Diddy Combs and his bodyguard left her emotionally scarred and hard to even feel safe in my own skin. That's what she says. Now, the brutal rape allegedly took place more than 20 years ago on a pool table at Bad Boy Record Studio in New York City. But for Talia Graves, the alleged attack by Sean Diddy Combs and his then bodyguard, who she claims drugged her, tied her hands, recorded the rape, and showed it to multiple men, lives on in her mind every single day, she says. The internal pain after being sexually assaulted has been incredibly deep and hard to put into words, said Graves, speaking publicly for the first time at an emotional press conference with her attorney, Gloria Allred, yesterday. It goes beyond just physical harm caused by and during the assault, she said, sobbing. It's a pain that reaches into the very core of who you are and leaves emotional scars that may never fully heal. The live stream press conference was held at Allred's Los Angeles office hours after Graves filed a 26-page civil complaint against Combs. His bodyguard at the time, Joseph Sherman, Bad Boy Entertainment, and others in federal court in New York. The bombshell complaint comes a week after Combs was arrested on September 16th and charged in federal court with sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He pleaded not guilty and has been denied bail twice. The 14 The 14-page federal indictment against Combs included details about how he allegedly electronically recorded freak-offs described as elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged and directed. Wow. Hold on. It says Graves is the first alleged victim to come forward and detail how Combs and Sherman videotaped the rape that took place in 2001 when she was 25 and dating a Bad Boy Records executive, the complaint claims. Graves, who paused after breaking down in tears during the press conference, alleged in the complaint that the now jailed music mogul allegedly lured her to the studio after giving her a glass of wine that was likely laced with a drug that eventually caused her briefly to lose consciousness. Goes back to what I was saying about the drug, and like it's not a crime, to have all these wild sex parties and things like that, to but to be drugging people, have them doing things against their will, maybe recording them and such, that is a crime within itself, I believe. Let me get back to this article. When she woke up, Graves says she was naked with her hands tied behind her. Wow, the complaint alleges. When she screamed, Sherman allegedly slammed her face down on what was apparently a pool table, it alleges. Some of the hardest parts of this pain are the shame and guilt I have experienced that plays a negative part in my day-to-day ability to function properly, she said. Being blamed, questioned, and threatened has often made me feel worthless, isolated, and sometimes responsible for what happened to me, she continued. During the alleged attack, she threw up on the pool table, but Combs was undeterred. The complaint claims he wiped himself off and continued to rape her, it alleges. Noting that she often feels alone in her struggle, she said, I go through spells of being distant and withdrawn that it is sometimes hard to leave my house. The trauma of the assault has taken a toll on my mental health. I have PTSD, depression, and anxiety. I am emotionally scarred. It has been hard for me to trust others, form healthy relationships, or even feel safe in my own skin. She ended her remarks by saying, I'm glad that he is locked up, but that's a temporary feeling of relief. The suit is seeking compensatory and punitive damages to be determined in court. Combs' attorney did not immediately respond to people's requests for comment. It is unclear whether Sherman has retained an attorney who can speak on his behalf. Okay. Let's see. See what she's saying.
And the guilt I have experienced that plays a negative part in my day-to-day ability to function properly. Being blamed, questioned, and threatened has often made me feel worthless.
Graves in the lawsuit says that Combs threatened to ruin her life if she ever spoke about what happened. She says she suffered suicidal thoughts and went through years of therapy and was then triggered in November of last year when she learned there was a video of the, quote, horrific rape. She said that made her want to take her life again, but instead reached out and is now joining dozens of other women and men who allege abuse at the hands of the disgraced media mogul. Graves is asking for damages to be determined later in court. She is suing Combs, Sherman, and Bad Boy Enterprises. Combs is already facing at least 10 lawsuits. The impetus for many people coming forward, many believe, is the longtime ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, when she came out with her civil lawsuit in 2023, which Diddy solved out of court one day later. But since then, many victims have come forward. I asked if Graves has spoken to any other victims. Gloria Allred said she would not be commenting on private conversations at this time. I also asked if Diddy had reached out to her because prosecutors in the New York federal case say that he'd been reaching out to alleged victims. Gloria Allred said she would not comment. Also, as you know, Combs is now in jail awaiting trial for federal charges, 3 of them involving sex trafficking and racketeering. Prosecutors say he used his business enterprise to create a criminal enterprise. In Carthage, Samantha Cortese, KTLA 5 News.
This is the day you get your new smile, and the day you start.
From KTLA 5 on YouTube. But my question is, do you think that discredits her? Because, you know, people have had their thoughts about Gloria Allred and some of the people she's put forward to have some of these sexual assault cases and some of the victims that she's had. I mean, she's won a lot of cases, but, you know, a lot of people have their doubts about how she goes about it, maybe her tactics and whatnot. So if y'all got any comments or your answer to that question, leave it in the comment section. And make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share to this page on YouTube. YouTube is the Roddy Rod Show. If you can, whatever other platform I'm on, make sure you like it and repost it. But yeah, do y'all feel as if she's loses her credibility, Thalia Graves, with having the lawyer Gloria Allred? In my opinion, that was making me hesitant to kind of report on this, because just for the simple fact, for me, it's Gloria Allred. I've had my doubts about her, not from the beginning. You know, I was one of these people. I used to believe a lot of it, but then I started to just kind of think to myself, well, could she be putting some of these people up to it? Now, I know some people may get mad about that because you should always believe the women, but I don't really buy that no more. You know, I believe the women, but not all the time. Like, not all the time. It's just not 100% for me. But like I said, if y'all got any answers to that question or you got any comments, let me know in the comment section. And I want to show y'all something else. Now, you know, I like my guy Gene Deal, and they kind of dropped these videos from the Art of Dialogue on YouTube. And he was revealing Diddy's history of gaining leverage on celebrities around for blackmail. Now, she did hint at the fact that he was recording it, showing it to other people, I guess using it against her, forcing her against her will. Like I said, they had the drug. She said she was drugged and different things like that. So, you know, Gene Deal speaks on it, and I'm gonna let y'all hear it.
Why haven't anybody came out defending Diddy? All these celebrity friends he have, and nobody came out.
They brand. It's all about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie with the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America like that. So now these people are represented by a brand, whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies. They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched, and Brother Love was watching.
Yeah, I mean, TD Jakes, he haven't even came out and said anything. And him and Diddy was real cool.
Amen.
That's what I was saying
Amen.
yesterday. Didn't I say that?
Yeah, man.
Didn't I say that the other day? Him and TD Jakes was cool, and they said he was at these parties. Now, why he didn't come out and say nothing? I mean, he kind of just deflected the whole incident, but he didn't really speak on it.
Man. And I know the people in the congregation over there is shaking in their boots because this man then led them allegedly probably led them to damnation, because those people's hearts are going to be broken if that man is seen on those tapes doing anything. Because people always put their faith in the pastor instead of putting their faith in God. And what they need to do is understand that he's just a man. And he has a history. It's not looking too good for him.
So you feel like celebs are worried that they might be on tape?
Oh, they know.
Oh, yeah, of course. I answered for them. They are. Anybody who ever went to one of those Diddy parties, anybody who's real close to Diddy, they all know this. They know what happened. They know exactly what happened. And like he said, some of them may have been there. Some of them may have participated in some of these acts. Some of them may have been the person, like he said, getting oiled up and doing all kind of stuff. So they don't want that to come out. Just the other day, it came out that Diddy, he's not even eating inside because he think he may get poisoned. So that says a lot. If he don't want to eat inside, he think he may get poisoned. Why would he think he's going to get poisoned? Because maybe he feel like somebody is going to touch him because he knows too much and they think he may tell.
No. That's why they ain't speaking up or saying nothing. Yeah, I was at a Diddy party, but I know I ain't do nothing. When you don't know somebody's taping you, when you don't know that somebody is videoing you in some kind of form or fashion, you got that alcohol, you got the drugs in you, they're a little loose, bruh. They let down all their inhibitions. The music is pumping. He said it himself. He got it so hot in there that you got to take your clothes off. He said that himself, bruh. So a lot of them, like what he said? I think a lot of them was being swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? They tell off on themselves all the time, man.
It's funny.
You just gotta listen.
But why do you think Diddy had all them hidden cameras?
Bruh, when you that powerful, You didn't get that powerful without having one or two or maybe three ups on somebody. Diddy always been the type of individual that wanted to have ups on the next person no matter what they was doing. Like, he always played artists against each other. He did it to Big, he did it to Craig Mack. You understand? I said before, he did the stuff to Ja Rule, you know what I'm saying? So how the ups on Ja Rule so he could go after Jay-Z. You understand what I'm saying? So he always played those kind of up games on people. So to have those cameras and know what he was doing is going to give him the ups on everybody who came to that party. Even your favorite basketball player. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. We know who said that. He may be one of the persons got caught up in the Diddy party.
LeBron said that, but yeah, you might be right. You know, it sounds like he had all them hidden cameras to use it against people.
I think that was said in the indictment, right? That was said in the indictment. You know, somebody, I think Dawn may have said that. I don't know for sure. And correct me if I'm wrong. He would, even if you didn't want to do something, he would tell the individual, well, I got you on tape doing it before.
If you've been injured in a recent car accident that wasn't your fault, I'm going to...
And the person would feel pressured in having to do something or come and do something at the party or be at the party because he already had him on tape right then and there. But what you think when you do it the second time? He's still going to have you on tape. Those tapes is the one who's killing because people don't understand this. Little Rod, he's taping for Diddy in some occasions.
Yep. Now I got the some of these. I know y'all seen this Kim Porter book. It was some. My bad. I got my alarm going on. It was some excerpts from this Kim Porter book that I just wanted to read real quick. But I was a little bit skeptic about it. Just want to know if it was real or not. I'm still gonna read these excerpts, but I have my doubts about the book. So all of this stuff is being alleged in this book. I mean, it's supposedly coming from her words, but I'm going to say allegedly because I don't know if this is really coming from her. I don't know what the deal is. But as you all know, Al B. Sure is requesting a formal investigation surrounding the Kim Porter book. It says those around her after a book titled Kim Porter's Lost Words hit Amazon. Al acknowledges an alleged book writings from Kim Porter's exist, but believes someone burglarized her residence and stole a computer and mobile devices that contained book notes. He feels as though maybe some of the people who were involved in that crime could have possible ties to Kim Porter's lost words and says original notes are distinct from the fabricated BS and offensive pages circulated via Amazon, which depict graphic sexual acts involving me that never took place and were edited and added after Miss Porter's tragic murder. Okay. Do they got the excerpt? All right. I'm gonna read this little piece. Y'all can follow along. This is chapter 1. Looks like page 3. It says, soon after high school, I started landing modeling jobs. I couldn't believe it. It was all happening so fast. I met my husband, father of my oldest child, and one of my oldest friends in life, I'll be sure. It was a whirlwind romance. I was only 19 when we married, and no, it didn't work out. Al is still one of my best friends to this day. Our son Quincy is such a talented and wonderful young man. At that time, I had no idea my relationship with Al was going to introduce me to the man that I would spend the better part of my adult life with, a man whom I would love and cherish, but eventually fear and hate. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I would say, although I knew what was going on, I turned a blind eye many times. Here I have to tell the truth. Here I have to tell this truth. Unfortunately, because deep down I knew everything that was happening, but I lied to myself a lot. He was so charming, a wolf in sheep's clothing, a devil, and I fell for it. This story must be told, despite the fact it will hurt my children. I cannot hide it any longer. Sean Combs must be stopped. Now, on the disclaimer part of the book, it says one of Kim Porter's final wishes was for this memoir / diary to be made public. Out of protection for certain parties and their potential criminal activity, some celebrities, performers, and events have been represented with X's. Due to their highly explosive nature, at some point in the future, this information will be revealed to the public. Regarding Kim's sudden death and the mysterious illness of Al B. Sure and Jamie Foxx, evidence does exist that points to foul play and or poisoning. So there. Now, I'll be sure had a post. Well, yeah, the I'll be sure. I read the I'll be sure post. It says, "Peep game. For over a decade and a half, I have been posting about and tagging random law enforcement agencies in hope to protect loved ones, avoid deaths and tragedies that could have all been avoided. Despite this, I have been ignored, ridiculed, and medically silenced to cover up these crimes. You're all now aware of by a very aggressive PR team and costly campaign to silence and physically harm me from exposing. It only aimed to prevent me from further sharing publicly the facts and insights at Lady KP shared with me during our frequent and intimate conversations in her selfless attempts to save my life by sharing frequent plans to do harm and possibly by ending my life. Further hashtag investigation request reply Miss hashtag Kimberly Antoinette Porter. I am writing this post to formally request an investigation into an entire group of individuals who worked at or around the residence of Miss Kimberly Porter, including the publicist who assisted drafting this. It has come to my attention that these persons were also separate camps launching this campaign, which appears to be a very personal and a deliberate distraction from their involvement in covering horrific also be connected to also concealing the alleged murders of several prominent artists. The intricacies of the entertainment industry may have a clearer understanding of the obvious. It is with a heavy heart that I reflect on the legacy of our beloved Lady KP. That's Kim Porter. It is truly disheartening to think that those she considered close friends and who were financially compensated by her perpetrators may have conspired with the perpetrator to obscure the truth and tarnish her name. My name and her unfinished book notes with these ridiculous and unfounded narratives. The absence of Miss Porter leaves a void, depriving her of the opportunity to address these inaccuracies personally and to share her own factual memoirs, detailing the brutal terror and madness she endured. Check all who text messages of those who serve in a PR capacity, as they have brilliantly and underhandedly crafted this fictitious story to service a personal vendetta. There's more. There's so much to unpack. Unfortunately, I'm the only survivor by the blessings of a medical team that initially gave up because of multiple system organ failure, septic, intubated, on a ventilator or on a ventilator for 38 days and forced to visit death's doorstep. But the God I serve and worship had another plan. Keep in mind that this is just the G-rated version of what I endured over a decade plus to silence the OG. I also kept forensic records of every individual who was sent my way to set me up, track me, gaslight me, and allegedly cause harm to my system. Now I'm pretty sure in the future they're going the the uh the authorities are gonna want to talk to I'll be sure he's alleging all of this stuff, saying people were threatening him, and allegedly P Diddy tried to kill him. He even threw Jamie Foxx out there. But it is kind of funny that they both kind of got sick around the same time, and they both survived. And I kind of I may kind of agree with him that this book was kind of put out to maybe tarnish her. So maybe whenever the real stuff came out, it would just make you just put doubt in your head. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that may be a tactic too, just to, create a lot of chaos and create a lot of doubt. That way you really don't know the truth, and he could still come out on top and, and say, well, see, I told you all this stuff was fake. People are just making up these stories and this and that. But it could also, like I said, this could be a real tactic, a real big tactic on his behalf, allegedly. But what else do I have? Okay. And Suge Knight, he was the one who was saying that Diddy had withdrawals. I'm gonna share this with you also. He was on Chris Cuomo's show on News Nation.
Okay, okay, but you had a guy named Tubby used to work for Interscope. This guy's job was to bring underage girls and girls to have sex with employees and other artists, to the point where his friend got caught up with the same thing. How they raided Puppy House for sex trafficking, they raided his friend house for sex trafficking.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
He never was an artist.
Sure. Can you say something? Can you say something
you really
positive?
Look at the whole situation.
Because you only got.
Everything I'm saying is positive. And I got to hand him a call right back.
All right, Suge, you call back. Do you think? Do you think that Diddy?
He can do so.
Do you think Diddy knows enough that it's a very delicate balance that maybe investigators will want to know these other names and greatly reduce his exposure to criminality to time versus what people would do to keep him quiet?
Number one, I've been knowing him a long time, and we was friends. We're not enemies, but we were friends. He's not a dummy, so he's smart enough to work his magic. On top of that, this man right here, he been involved with the FBI and most of his career. He got powerful people one of his partners who started his company with drug money, President Obama, got him out of prison. So it's not like he don't have no moves. So I don't think nobody should just count him out. I don't think he gonna lay down and just crawl in the corner and die. He probably going through a lot of shit right now because he probably going through a lot of withdrawals for the drugs. But the industry got him on drugs. My artist, one of the worst mistakes I could have made was protecting my artist is doing a deal at Interscope. When my artists used to pull up in Valet, the Murdoch building, they'd get out, they'd smell like weed. When they clothes smell like weed. When they made it to any office, it would smell like weed. Those guys, for my artists, they introduced cocaine to my artists. So once they got on cocaine, once they got on drugs, once they got on alcohol, and that's when the weird stuff happened. And I think that's what took Puffy down that lane. Then you got to remember, Clyde Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arell.
Simon, come on.
You better believe it. Alcohol, drugs. He compromised his manhood. Because he was taught that. He got Usher as a kid. They never recorded no songs, but alcohol, drugs,
Simon.
sex. Justin Bieber. And see, they do these things to take control. They're not doing, there's nothing wrong with being gay. If you choose to be gay, that's your preference. But they're doing this to people for control. It's a power situation.
Exactly. And that's my whole thing about a lot of this. I keep saying it's about control. They're trying to control these people. They're trying to manipulate them and force them to do things that they don't want to do against their will. That's my issue. It's never been an issue about him having sex with all these different people and these different orgies, which I do report on that. Don't get me wrong. But that's just to show you somewhat of his character, you know, what he may do behind the scenes and what he has done behind the scenes coming from people who know him. And so, I mean, that's a big thing for me was the drugging, people being held against their will and being recorded and blackmailed, all of this stuff. And that's why I was reading you the Al B. Sure part where he was saying, you know, he was allegedly somebody tried to kill him. He threw Jamie Foxx's name out there. Even Kim Porter, like her death is mysterious. So all of these things is just showing his character. That's it. I'm just trying to show you that he could have done these things. He is capable of doing these things. This is all this is. And just to give y'all some background and some things in the past that may resurface now, and you kind of look back on it and you think, man, that's kind of suspicious. And so that's where I'm at with it. But that's the end of this episode, man. I'll catch y'all next time. I'll see y'all on the other side, man. Peace.
Yeah. You might have seen me, nigga, with a rack or two. And if I had to bring them choppers, they gon'